Hi. Hello, everyone out in the Los Angeles Poet Society. I am transmitting live from the Pomona Farmers Market, and I am giving people time to come on in, hang out, and figure out where we're at because we're not in my living room and we're not at the Serenity Garden anymore. Hi, FYLA Zoo. How are you guys? So we're letting people join. And so we came from the Serenity Gardens with Hevelyn. Hevelyn is one of Francisco's associates. So let's go ahead and introduce Francisco. This is Francisco from the Seed Exchange at the Pomona Farmers Market. And so let's go ahead and ask him, what is it that you do? What is the Seed Exchange? Like, do you guys exchange like plants, seeds? What's going on? Tell me.
Here at the Pomona Community's Farmer Market, what we try to do is exchange seeds with people, and whenever they bring seeds or even their enthusiasm, we try to promote that and encourage that in themselves, so that way they not only have the ability to grow plants, but they can share that with other people as well.
Yeah.
We provide a lot of seeds, different varieties of peppers, for example, watermelon, pretty much every kind of vegetable you can think of, we try to provide seeds for. So.
And I think one of the most important things that you're providing, Francisco, is the knowledge. So one of the very common questions that we hear is, what should I grow? I want something easy in a container. What would you recommend?
Thankfully, here in California's climate, it's fairly easy to grow a lot of vegetables. Unlike other states, we pretty much only have 2 seasons, so we have a lot of freedom when it comes to growing any kind of vegetables. Something I always recommend to people who start growing out plants is either peppers or beans, since they really just need a container, and then from there they can produce a lot of things from the places they're at. So
nice. Now I have another question.
Sure.
We've all been through this pandemic, and I don't know if you noticed that a lot of people decided to do a pandemic project of gardening. How have you noticed, your interaction with other people during the pandemic and how it's affected people?
During the pandemic, especially during the beginning, I always saw that people were kind of had uncertainty and insecurity when it came to getting food. And I know that Seed Exchange provided an opportunity for them to grow their own food. So
Nice.
That way, if they ever couldn't afford their food, they could always just get it from the plants they've grown themselves. And a lot of times, I remember when food was really sparse in the stores, and so sometimes people weren't sure what to do. And
They
so
were scared.
Exactly.
Right.
And so by growing their own vegetables from seeds, there came a sense of security with that, and we hope to just continually provide that, not only through the pandemic, but any time throughout the year as well.
So I agree, this is a really good lesson that we're gaining from the pandemic, which is learning how to be independent, learning how to grow our own food for our own sustainability, but it's also better ecologically. So that's something else that's really good about your project, because not only are you providing the starting seeds, but you're also providing the information. And since you're like the guy that we come to with questions, what are the top 3 questions that you get here? Number 1.
Questions. All right. Number 1, I'd probably say is, people always ask me, what can I grow right now? And like I said, thanks to California's weather, it's fairly easy to grow a large assortment of vegetables. For question number 2, I'd probably say, people probably say, I kill a lot of plants, what's the easiest thing I can grow? By growing...
Are you referring to anybody in particular?
No.
Okay.
I'm sure.
Oh, no,
So-
I'm not outing myself. We're not talking about, but, people. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead.
All right.
I kill my plants.
Yeah.
What can I do?
It really just takes practice. I always encourage people to always continue growing plants, even if they kill 1, 2, or 3, or 4.
Yes.
It always just starts from there. And once you gain that experience as to what to do and what not to do, you'll have the experience to grow a lot of other things. So, for question number 3, I would probably say, should I grow in the ground or in the container? And people usually ask this when it comes to that, and I always try to answer that I always recommend that you plant it in the ground, since that provides a lot more space for the roots to grow and provide more plants, and for the plants to yield more things. In a container, I know people always don't have the option to grow in the ground, so a container can also do really well. There's grow bags that are available, or really large pots and containers. You can grow large assortments of things there.
So now, I have a question for
Sure.
you. There's a lot of people out there, especially that live in Los Angeles, because our audience is in Los Angeles, and they live in small apartments. I live in a small apartment. I only have a space this big. What can I grow?
When it comes to that, I would recommend that you plant either chili. There's small varieties of chili peppers, and the plants don't grow too big themselves, but they produce a lot of chilies.
Nice.
I would also recommend tomatoes, similarly, since, like I said, the plants don't grow too big, but they'll produce the fruits that you want. So, lastly, I'd probably recommend leeks and onions. There's also some smaller varieties that are perfect for smaller containers.
So Mr. Francisco's a very busy man. We're going to continue with final thoughts and then let him go. I want this to be part of a conversation out on flotuscouture.com, but I want to thank the Los Angeles Poets Society for giving us this platform. So final thoughts, Francisco.
Final thoughts, I'd probably say that you should never be hesitant in growing any kind of plant. Even if you kill a cactus, for example, you're able to grow anything pretty much, as long as you have the experience and knowledge. And always make sure to do your research before doing that. So, but everyone's ready for that. So.
Thank you. I want to thank you, Francisco. You're awesome. You're knowledgeable. I really highly recommend that anyone that is local in Pomona come and meet Francisco themselves at the Pomona Farmers Market every Saturday from 9 to 1 at 145 West Pearl Street. Thank you, everyone that's joining us and supporting us and watching on the replay. Again, thank you, Francisco, for joining us. Bye.
Bye-bye.